Jacqueline Bambenek with Vibrational Energy Solutions, here to bring you Chapter 5 of the brilliant book by Jacqueline Ortiz, Extraordinary You. If you haven't gotten a copy yet, you can get one on Amazon, or if you follow along with me, I go chapter by chapter and actually go with the inspiration that's flowing through me. So if you want to do a fast read of this, I highly recommend getting a copy of the energy of it in your hands so that you can go at your own pace, because sometimes I take a little break between reading chapters. But today we're on chapter 5, the power of perception. Thoughts are the organic, dynamic, living things with which we manifest our reality. Where do perceptions come from? Every moment of every day, our brains are processing everything that we experience in order to make sense of the world we live in. Thoughts pop up seemingly out of nowhere. They are part of the human experience, and they are what make us unique in this universe. Humans have the ability to be logical and to think. Our ability to think is what creates our psychological experience. Thinking is a part of our human consciousness. It is something we do. Thought is a prerequisite to feeling. Your thoughts affect your feelings. You can't feel depressed without first thinking depressing thoughts. You can't feel joy without first thinking joyous thoughts. Thoughts affect your feelings, whether you wallow in them for hours and days or spend merely a few minutes on them. The negative effects of thoughts arise when you forget that your consciousness produces the thoughts. The essence of each thought is neutral, but thinking is such a basic and innate function that you often forget that you are the producer of your thoughts. This, more often than not, causes you to mistake a thought for reality rather than just a function of your mind. Unfortunately, once your mind accepts information that you think is true, your feelings and emotions will respond to your thoughts regardless of whether they are true. I'm going to read that one more time, because in this day and age that we are in right now, we experience so much of this. So just take this in. Unfortunately, once your mind accepts information that you think is true, your feelings and emotions will respond to your thoughts regardless of whether they are true. Your every thought influences your experience, perceptions, and interpretations. The meanings you associate with your thoughts are based on your past experiences, and your perceptions, beliefs, and interpretations of your past experiences will create your emotional responses. For example, to one person, public speaking is exciting and challenging. To another, public speaking is a fate worse than death. Both people may experience similar sensations of hearts pounding, nervous energy, and butterflies in their stomach. But the first person interprets these sensations as an exhilarating rush, a way of challenging themselves, and a way to get attention. Hence, this person concludes it to be a positive experience. The second person may think that public speaking is nerve-wracking and scary. Maybe he is even appalled by being at center stage. He interprets it as negative and concludes that it is terrifying. Each individual's response can be attributed to positive or negative experiences and interpretations from his past. A response can also be the result of how a person chooses to compare the present experience to something he experienced that was similar in the past. A response can also be attributed to a particular personality trait or personal preference. Understanding that you are the originator of your thoughts empowers you. You no longer have to be the victim of your thoughts. You can choose which thoughts to dwell on. and which thoughts to evaluate and which thoughts to toss out. You can become detached from the disempowering thoughts. You can live a peaceful and contented life without all the ups and downs and drama that runaway thoughts can create. Often thoughts are ego-based. Ego is the image you carry of who you think yourself to be. The ego has rigid rules about what's right and wrong, who you are, who you shall become, how you should be treated, and so forth. And when any of the ego's stringent rules are violated, the ego gets wounded. Feelings are habits. Many of your feelings are conditioned reactions based on beliefs you have formed over years of past experiences. Many are so ingrained in your consciousness that they are on autopilot. A thought pops into your head and a corresponding feeling is activated. It is similar to a record that has been scratched. You keep replaying the same old thoughts over and over again, and you experience the same feelings over and over again. Then you wonder why you are so sad, so angry, or depressed all of the time. Hello! It's the repetitive thoughts you have whirling around in your head. Your thoughts determine your direction. Whether it's negative thinking, where you see everything through a doomsday scenario, or comparison thinking, where you compare yourself to others and what they have, or additive thinking, where your thoughts become compulsive or obsessive, or judgmental thinking, where your prejudice and bias color your interpretation. You need to go back to the basics and determine where the thought originated. What purpose does the thought serve you? Extraordinary size number 12. Clear out debilitating thoughts. They serve no purpose but to stunt your growth and limit your potential. What you think says a lot about you. For a whole week, journal the limiting thoughts that you harbor. Write down every limiting thought. You will be shocked by how many there are and how toxic they are. Are your thoughts empowering you or disempowering you? Ask yourself, with what positive thought can I replace the negative thought? And how can I restructure my thinking patterns to better serve me? You can do what I do to recurring negative thoughts. When they pop into your mind, just slide the thought to a small corner, envision the thought in a black and white, blurry and fuzzy, and then slash a big red X through it. Then replace the negative with a new vision of a clear, positive thought and highlight it in a bright, bold color. Make it aesthetically pleasing to your senses. You can even decorate it with balloons or fireworks, whatever it takes to form a strong link to your positive new thought. Make it easier to incorporate into your life. A thought is just a thought. To most, a thought is an idea or image floating through the mind, which they perceive as based on reality. In this book, I may refer to thinking positive, but that's just an expression. A thought is really just a thought. It's neutral. It's not fact or fiction. What gives a thought validity and power is the meaning that you assign to each particular thought. Your perception colors your reality. So does your past personal experiences. Hear this loud and clear. What you continually focus on, you will create. You are the author of your thoughts. Change your focus and you change your thoughts. If you focus on the negative, your thoughts will gravitate toward doom and gloom. If you focus on your past failures and limitations, your mind will search all of the files, your past experiences, and come up with a sordid laundry list of all of your past failures and show all of the reasons why you are a failure and will never succeed. So why bother? No wonder you don't have the motivation to do anything or follow through on what you do manage to initiate. You have set yourself up for failure even before getting to the starting gate. Your negative interpretation will color your thoughts. Instead, why not think of your so-called failures as learning experiences and detours, guiding you in a different direction to get you closer to attaining or becoming what you want. Your negative thoughts have assigned you total and irrefutable failure. Case closed. A thought is no longer just a thought when you run it through your filters. When thoughts pop into your head, you funnel them through filters. Filters contain all of the experiences that you have accumulated over your lifetime. Filters are what you use to streamline information and ultimately your thoughts. People are very protective of their filters. After all, your filters are your view of how life is. Each one of us believes that our filters are the correct view, and we judge opposing views as being incorrect. This is why politics is so polarized between Republicans and Democrats. Each political party is convinced that its beliefs and policies are the right one. We use our filters to validate or justify our view of the world that we live in. At times, we even try to manipulate the views of others. For instance, one person can watch the gory weekend news about a crime spree in a neighborhood and see it as validation that the world is unsafe and being taken over by criminals. Another person can watch the same program, but notice in the story that despite the weekend crime spree, crime overall has declined by 20% year to year, validating their faith that the world is a better place because of technology and increased police presence. The particular filters you run will evaluate input and spit out interpretations that validate your thoughts and beliefs. You will instinctively react in the same way time after time, no matter how long it takes or to what lengths you have to go to justify that you are right, even at the expense of making yourself miserable. This is the tragedy of blindly filtering your thoughts through automated and often antiquated belief filters. You will experience recurring patterns and dramas in your life. Some filters are healthy and constructive, while others are distorted and destructive. It is crucial to your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being that you acknowledge these filters and the important role that they play in your life. Since your filters are based on your conditioned interpretations of past experiences, you automatically and repeatedly react in the same manner every time. You are doomed to keep repeating the same erroneous reaction to the same thought unless you understand and acknowledge your filters. Until you do, your past will dictate your present and your future. For example, if when you were a young girl your father was cold and aloof and later abandoned you and your family, you will have a radar out for any signs of cold and aloof behavior from men. You may misinterpret even the most insignificant signs of this behavior as cold or aloof. Your instincts tell you that this man is just like your father, and whether this is true or not, you will conclude that he can't be trusted and that he would abandon you too. This filter is a distorted view based on past experiences. It has the potential to destroy every relationship you engage in, probably even before it gets to any deep level of intimacy. The fact that your father abandoned you is a very painful thought, but the only thing worse than being abandoned as a child is continuously reliving the same pain over and over again. Every time you attempt a friendship or a relationship with a person of the opposite sex, this is what is referred to as a living hell. The problem with filters is that you stubbornly and unquestioningly cling to these filters as if they were based on present and actual facts. The tragic thing is that the staunch beliefs you interpret as facts keep you from assimilating new information that has the potential to disprove, improve, or modify your perception of current reality. Very often, if A happens, you automatically think it is because XYZ happened, and your response or lack thereof is in direct correlation to your distorted thoughts. These filters limit and paralyze you, keeping you from questioning to what extent your thoughts are real or valid. The antidote to these filters is awareness. Once you are aware that such destructive filters exist, and when you know the particular events that warped your perceptions of yourself and the world, you can choose to free yourself of them. Knowledge gives you power to change your perceptions, or at the very least, to make allowances so that you don't automatically relive and react to the same old painful memory. It frees you and empowers you to move on. Man is what he thinks all day long. That's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. You choose or you lose. Thoughts come and go, but you ultimately choose what feelings you marinate in your consciousness. You may not be responsible for every passing thought that enters your mind, but you are responsible for the resulting perceptions to which you give room and board. You can choose to harbor inspiring and uplifting perceptions, or you can choose debilitating and limiting perceptions. What you focus on, you will create. So choose your responses to your thoughts wisely. Your perceptions have immense power. Unrestrained and unrestricted perceptions can cause a chain reaction that affects every aspect of your life. Perceptions will color everything around you and within you. Unchecked perceptions will spiral out of control. They will affect, influence, and dictate how you think, what you think, when you think, and your response. This in turn will influence how you feel about things, your experiences, your past, your present, and your future. Your feelings directly impact your actions and your life choices. This is the power of perception. This is why you need to know what perceptions you harbor in your mind. This isn't to say that you need to be the perception police, guarding every single response to every single thought that enters your mind. This is not only exhausting, it's sheer insanity. But it does mean that you develop an awareness to the debilitating and limiting perceptions that jeopardize your sanity and general well-being, especially in the recurring ones that you wallow in. Your perceptions cloud all aspects of your life. You may seek an escape from powerless and hopeless feelings, which can escalate to toxic and addictive behaviors to avoid the pain, such as drugs, alcohol, sex, food addiction, sex addiction, smoking, suicidal tendencies, rage, and self-inflicting wounds. By the way, people engage in this toxic behavior to escape the feelings and the thoughts that their thoughts invoke in them. Your thoughts can be your demon or your savior. It is truly up to you. Change the meaning you associate with your thoughts and experiences, and you will slowly gain self-trust, momentum, and courage, and the mindset to change how you see and feel about yourself. There's no magic cure. No one can do it for you. Your perception are yours alone. It will take a lot of awareness, soul searching, and desire on your part to diligently complete the exercises in this chapter, but it will be the most rewarding thing that you do. The reward is being free to think and feel without sedatives and painkillers, whatever form they take in your life. This is how you claim back your life, by taking control of your perceptions. Ask the universe for guidance. Listen to your heart. It will never steer you wrong. Forgive yourself for all of your toxic perceptions and behaviors. This doesn't mean that you condone them or that you will keep engaging in them, but it does mean that you are willing to forgive yourself and move on. It means that you understand that your toxic perceptions and behaviors are part of the universe's design to teach your higher self lessons and personal growth. Awareness is thought-provoking. Awareness is power. Strive to catch recurring negative perceptions one at a time, one day at a time, in real time. Be gentle with yourself. Don't expect to do this work once or all at once. It is a continual process, because as long as you live, you will have feelings and perceptions. If you stopped and analyzed every perception, it would sap the juice out of life. What you should do is to become aware of the recurring negative and disempowering perceptions that you have. Remember that a thought is just a thought until you run it through your filters and assign it meaning. Learn to distinguish between reality and falsehood. Analyze where the perception oriented and how it's affecting you. Apply the questions at the end of the chapter to reframe and reinterpret your negative perceptions. When you catch yourself entertaining disempowering perceptions, don't berate yourself or suppress your feelings. In time, what you suppress will only get louder and stronger and demand more of your attention to keep it suppressed. Rather, welcome disempowering perceptions into your consciousness with the purpose of revealing the messages they are trying to tell you. Negative recurring perceptions are a call for attention and then a call to action. You need to rein in those pesky, unruly unruly perceptions. You need to set yourself up to win the game of life. You win by creating a life that is harmonious and uncomplicated, not riddled with struggles and conflicts. For instance, you may have a recurring perception that you are stupid. Rather than trying to suppress, deny, or reject it, or allow it to affect how you feel about yourself, analyze it. You need more than positive perceptions. Feeling positive all of the time is nice. Exhausting, but nice. Still, it won't get you to the root of the problem so you can pull it out and heal it. You need to get down and dirty and ask compelling questions that will get to the root of the matter, rather than just plastering a happy face over your inner anguish. You need to delve right in and take the role of an impartial and unbiased detective. For example, ask yourself, where did my perception that I am stupid originate? Perhaps you had a smarter sibling that made you feel stupid, or perhaps your parents intentionally or unintentionally made you feel stupid or acted like you didn't measure up. Or perhaps it started in school when you were asked to go to the front of the room to solve a problem and you were unable to do so. What triggered the current perception? Perhaps you saw someone else being humiliated for not saying or doing something right. Perhaps you feel inadequate, stupid, inferior, or ignorant, or like you aren't enough, or like you aren't lovable. Then you need to ask, why specifically do I focus on this? Perhaps you figured that in your family being smart meant getting more attention, or that smart people got all of the breaks. Now ask yourself, what's the message? Perhaps the message is that you need to reevaluate the way you think about yourself because it's colored by your past experiences and it is not who you are now. Perhaps there's a need to address how those experiences have affected you, possibly with a family member or a loved one. Perhaps it's a message that you need to take action so that you can stop thinking of yourself as stupid. This breaks my heart. I've had clients that have worked through this. And at some level, we draw in the people in our lives because there's something inside of us to heal. So I'm going to read that one more time. Perhaps there's a need to address how those experiences have affected you, possibly with a family member or a loved one. Perhaps it's a message that you need to take action so that you can stop thinking of yourself as stupid. This could mean going back to school to get a diploma, or it could just mean that you need to brush up on a specific topic that makes you think that you are stupid. It doesn't matter what you perceive or how you rationalize it. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It just matters that you think it is so. Your thoughts can't distinguish the difference between what's real and what's not. Awareness is power. When you catch yourself having the same old recurring negative perceptions, stop and analyze them. Ask yourself, are these negative perceptions based on misperceptions from a painful experience? Examine and question your perceptions. Every new experience has the potential to change your perspective and that of those around you. What worked for you yesterday will not necessarily work for you today or tomorrow. Being open-minded and unattached will spur your personal growth exponentially. Whatever the answers are, you need to do some deep soul searching. Your recurring negative perceptions are not just going to go away without effort. That brings us to our next extraordinary size number 13. Perhaps you've had a negative experience that still plagues your perceptions today. You can reframe any event with some version of the following exercise. Since your mind thinks in pictures rather than just using words, why not make it easier on your brain? In your mind, vividly recreate in pictures the moment right before the event occurred. Now shake off that image and create an image of how you wish the event would have occurred. Increase the emotional intensity, vividly recreate the ideal situation, and envision your own success in the situation. See yourself as full of pride and excitement over this positive outcome. This trick is to reframe the experience of an empowering one into an empowering one. Add more emotional intensity than the original negative event and make it turn out just the way you would have wanted it to occur. Essentially, you have tricked your brain into thinking that your newly reframed event was what really occurred. So this is possible with the science that is available for us. It's about creating new neural pathways in the brain. Your brain can do this. So I invite you to please dive into this extraordinary size right now. Pause this right now and allow yourself the gift of this experience of extraordinary size number 13. It can powerfully help you to reframe an event and an experience. Rethinking it. You must rewrite your agreement with reality, changing your misperceptions about who you truly are and who you can become, which in turn will help you reconnect to reality and your authentic self. As it has often been said, the truth shall set you free. Toxic perceptions can be contagious and detrimental to your health. You already know that if you wallow in negative and limiting perceptions, you will create limiting beliefs, which in turn cause negative behavior. But have you realized that these negative perceptions can be contagious? If you wallow in negative perceptions, you will attract negative people. This will reinforce your tendency to behave in the same demoralizing and disempowering manner. You need to become aware of the people you surround yourself with. Choose cheerful, inspiring people with a can-do attitude, and you will already be way ahead of the game. Remember, always set yourself up to win the game of life. Empowerment through your perceptions isn't mumbo jumbo. It's the real thing. That is, if you believe it. Healthy perceptions and beliefs create healthy molecules and cells. Since you become what you perceive all day, entertain healthy perceptions. This has been proven in experiments where patients are given a placebo sugar pill and are convinced that they have received a drug. The patients that truly believe that they received a drug and were expected to recover actually did. The healing had nothing to do with the sugar pill and everything to do with the power of perception and belief. It has worked for my mother and myself for years. Many of my family members still believe that cold weather can make you sick, with the exception of my mother and I, who often leave the house in frigid temperatures with our hair wet or without gloves or scarves or hats. I don't recommend it, but nonetheless, we do it. While my other family members often get numerous colds in the winter, my mother and I can't remember how many years it's been since we've had colds. What's the difference? Nothing but perception. Despite all of the evidence I have provided my family that you catch colds from germs and not from cold temperatures, they still believe that they will catch a cold from the weather. My mother and I refuse to believe this and dismiss it as nonsense. We even spite them by going out in the cold without proper attire. Our little rebel there. Then we tick them off when we rub it in their faces after they've caught colds despite layering on the clothes. And we didn't. It's not a very nice thing to do, but nonetheless, we do it. Change your perceptions and you change your life. You become what you perceive. You can change your environment. You can change the people you surround yourself with. I can guarantee you one thing. If you don't change your perception patterns, you will never live an extraordinary life. If you continually perceive yourself as a victim or a martyr, how will you ever make the consciousness shift needed to perceive yourself as a strong and fearless victor? If you experience a relationship breakup with a weak victim mentality, you are more likely to blame yourself, throw a pity party, and curl up in a corner. But if you process your thoughts through the filters of someone who is an empowered, strong, and independent positive thinker, you may view the same experience in a different light. You will likely interpret the breakup in a more rational, practical, and healthy manner. This in turn will raise your positive vibration, thereby increasing the likelihood that you will attract a more compatible person into your life. This isn't to say you have to live in la la land and always be a positive thinker. Negative things do happen to positive thinkers. They do. Take a deep breath and feel into if you've ever felt you were a positive thinker and something negative happened to you. That hits me right here. When something awful happens, you can rationalize that, yes. It is very painful. But this is one aspect of your life. At this moment in time, it doesn't have to consume all of you or every aspect of your life. Positive perception will make it easier to see the big picture. We never know why things happen. Good things, sometimes bad things happen to good people. And right now I'm thinking of Jacqueline. And I trust everything happens as it's meant to. And I've lived my life over the decades trying to be a positive thinker. And I know I overanalyze things a lot. And I know this isn't the discussion part of our book club. But it's hitting me. It's hitting me right now. Because sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes negative things happen. Even to good people. And even to positive thinkers. There will be times when your perceptions may not be all rosy, and that's okay. As long as you understand that you are in control of them. This is a huge relief. Take a deep breath. This is a huge relief because it reassures you that what you are feeling is not based on reality. And if you need to, you can step out of the negative perception and evaluate your surroundings without them being colored by your filters. Sometimes you may be hormonal and want to dig into a tub of ice cream and wallow in your thoughts. Or you may want to shed tears over a lost loved one. Now you know why it takes me so long to pump these chapters out. I process each one. It's like she's left us with this beautiful gift of helping to process through losing her. Again, speaking of the author here, Jacqueline Ortiz. The brilliant, amazing woman who has brought us so much wisdom through this book. I didn't even grab Kleenex because I didn't plan on this being a cry session here. Okay. Sometimes you may be hormonal and want to dig into a tub of ice cream and wallow in your thoughts. Or you may want to shed tears over a lost loved one. And this is okay. We are all humans, and it is okay to feel. It's necessary to feel. Feeling is what life is all about. As long as you know that you are the creator of your perceptions, you don't have to buy a lifetime membership for the front row center seat of a tragic drama. You can choose to snap out of it. I can hear it right now. Snap out of it. Okay. This gives you, and she went to set it like that. Come on, baby. Baby girl, snap out of it. This gives you the freedom to be open to the spontaneous thoughts, to be creative, to feel, and to live. That's why we're here, to live. You will always experience thoughts. Thoughts are neutral. What isn't neutral is the meaning that you give them. If you believe that you are in a bad relationship, it is because you first thought so. Your thoughts can be self-fulfilling prophecies, If you start thinking of all the reasons that your relationship is irreparable or doomed, pretty soon you will start to believe it and behave as such, which will facilitate and precipitate your relationship's demise. But if you focus on all the reasons why your relationship is great or worth salvaging and how you can improve it, you will get busy uncovering empowering answers to help you improve or repair the relationship. The way you think of the other person and the feelings toward that person will become much more empowering, healthy, and loving. What you are doing is setting yourself up for success. The universe is as it is. Change your perceptions and you change your perception of the world. It's totally up to you. At any point in time, you have control over the feelings you choose to have. Whether you do it consciously or not, you create and select the feelings that you harbor. Bask in the glory of the highest energetic frequencies of empowering perceptions. Empowering perceptions inspire and uplift you to perform at your highest level. Empowering perceptions embrace love, respect, compassion, serenity, forgiveness, growth, joy, and contribution. These perceptions move you forward, inspire you, and invite peace of mind and joy. Remember, perceptions and feelings precede all action, so concentrate on empowering perceptions. Wholeheartedly believe. And when the time is right, you will manifest the thought into reality. Say what you think. Because we use words to express and communicate just about everything, we often take words for granted. Often we are unaware of how the words we habitually choose affect our psyche. Whether intentionally or not, you hurt yourself with negative words that you habitually choose to express your worldview. Your choice of words also has the power to hurt others in a similar way. Perform a mental replay of some of the catchy phrases and words you use on a daily basis and evaluate whether they hurt you or others. Some people call themselves or others names, and I'm not just referring to 4-letter words. I'm talking about things like this. I'm such an idiot. He's so stupid. I'm such a screw up. I can't do anything right. With those demoralizing words, no wonder they can't do anything right. Some people choose passive words. I can't. I'm not strong enough. I don't have any willpower. I'd rather die than speak up. I'll never. Then they wonder why life is passing them by. Some people choose to complain and be negative. My husband never does any housework. It's always up to me. My wife just spends and spends. She thinks I'm made of money. I hate my job. I'll never get anywhere. I'm so unlucky. Nothing good ever happens to me. Then they wonder why they feel so discouraged or depressed. It's your words, stupid. Just kidding. Actually, this leads me into my next segment, kidding around. Some people joke around. I'm so fat, I'm as big as a house. I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. You have thunder thighs. Then they wonder why they aren't amused. I'm all for a good joke, but not if it is at the expense of my or someone else's feelings. Nor should you joke around to mask pain. It doesn't work, so don't do it. Some people choose to ridicule and criticize. I'm such a failure. I can't do anything right. Look at him. He is such a fat, lazy. Gosh, she has so much makeup. She looks like a tramp. If your head wasn't attached to your body, you'd forget that too. Can't you do anything right? Clean up your room. It's a pigsty. The words that you choose have an especially profound effect on children. Children are like sponges, absorbing everything that they see and hear, for better or for worse, in their innocence. Children take your words to heart, internalizing and believing them. It affects their present states and their futures. Please use caution when choosing your words around children, and be careful not to impose your limiting beliefs and convictions on them. Does your vocabulary consist mostly of can't and never? Disempowering words destroy your confidence, self-esteem, and enthusiasm for life. The words that you routinely use will also be the default words that your mind uses to create perceptions. If your vocabulary consists mostly of four-letter words, passive words, and negative expressions, your mind will become preconditioned to use these concepts more readily than concepts of inspiration and abundance. You are setting yourself up for failure, or at the very least, an ordinary and unhappy life. So many of us go through life with filters of impoverishment. You may think that just because you were born into poverty or have had less than others, you will always have less than others. You might believe that you were dealt a bad hand in life. I can assure you that this is not the case. Yes, you may have been born into the life of the rich and famous. You may not have been born into the life of the rich and famous, but you were born, I'm assuming, of a healthy mind and spirit. Tomorrow's is yours to claim, but for an extraordinary tomorrow, you must start right now, in the present moment, by embracing empowering perceptions of infinite abundance and acting on them. Don't ever settle for less. Don't ever give up. Tell yourself these things. I know more than I think I do. I need to find out what is real and what isn't real. I need to observe who the thinker is. Who is thinking in me? I need to bring awareness to my thoughts so that I can raise my level of consciousness. If you think you can or think you can't, you are probably right. That's a quote by Henry Ford. Wallowing in negative and discouraging words and perceptions will have a direct impact on how long you experience these challenging times. So retrain your mind. The process of choosing appropriate and compelling words starts with your perceptions about yourself and others. Then you must graduate to the words that you speak out loud. Everything is interrelated. You must learn to be impeccable with your choice of words in every aspect because your mind is like a sponge, taking it all in. It will take time and effort to retrain your mind, but the results are worth it. The pursuit of excellence and integrity in your inner self promotes self-love, peace of mind, and joy. Don't poison your mind and soul with words that create thoughts of criticism, revenge, and hate, resentment, gossip, and fear about yourself or others. You are better than that. Words have immense power, so choose wisely. They say, put your best foot forward. I say, put your best words forward. By the way, understanding the nature of perception alleviates personal conflicts with other people, because once you fully understand the role that individual filters play on people's perceptions, you can understand where they are coming from. If someone attacks, gets defensive, gets jealous, or gets offended, you know it's not about you. It's about their own perceptions and the way that they see life. It opens the way for dialogue. It opens the way for compromise. If you can live your life with the understanding that at any given moment, your thoughts can work for you or against you, you will become a more conscious wordsmith, even a connoisseur of words. Extraordinary tidbit. Say what you think. In their eagerness to fit in or be accepted, many people turn into chameleons. I used to be one of those people. I specialized in debilitating language such as, I don't care, whatever you want. I don't care what restaurant we go to. I don't care what movie we watch. Whatever you want to do, whatever. You choose. This language is extremely disempowering. You may think that doing what others want is an innocent way to fit in, to win brownie points or avoid ruffling a few feathers, but it isn't. It silences your inner voice, zaps your authentic self, and robs you of self-confidence. Right now, take your voice back, speak up, and stand for what you desire. At first, it may be deciding what's for dinner, but eventually you'll strengthen your decision-making muscles enough to declare who you are and what you desire. Thinking it through. You might think that it's your circumstances that keep you immobilized, making you feel overwhelmed and depressed. But it's not. It's your perceptions about your circumstances that limit you. If you keep focusing on all the reasons why your life is so horrible, and if you have a doomsday mentality, you will have a distorted view of reality and will begin to believe that your life is truly unfixable. Yes, at the moment it may seem bleak, but harboring disempowering perceptions will just keep you permanently down and out. Stop believing in disempowering perceptions. Reword and rethink them into the positive. Tell yourself, this too shall pass. Perhaps you think that as soon as their circumstances change, you will perk up and cheer up, but the opposite is true. Your perceptions must first change, and your circumstances will follow. By the way, you'll never get to a place where you can totally let down your guard and assume that you have reprogrammed your mind only for empowering perceptions. It doesn't work that way. You can't expect to work on positive thinking once, fix it, and forget about it. You must remain vigilant against negative perceptions. No matter how much work you do on yourself and how positively you perceive reality, you will be tested. Everyone goes through ups and downs, through trials and tribulations. It's a part of being human on this earth school. Again, I tell you this not to demoralize you, but to reassure you that you aren't alone. We will all face challenging moments that will test us, but you must be gentle with yourself when you have setbacks. Don't dwell on the negative perception. Instead, think about what you can learn about yourself and the circumstances. It may be that it's just a random perception, and all you need to do is detach from it. Perceptions play a huge role in love. Haven't you ever thought that you were madly in love, but the person you originally thought was your soulmate turned out to be your worst nightmare? This happens a lot with women who are attracted to bad boys and with men who are attracted to sexy sirens. A major culprit in your heartache was your perception, with some help from chemistry and biology. Somewhere in your past experiences, you associated certain thoughts with an attraction for a particular type of person. It could be the result of a parent, an acquaintance, movies, friends, trends, media. I'm thinking of Disney and being being the princess with her Prince Charming. That's not in here. Or a host of other reasons. Just wanted to name it. Whatever it was, it created an intense feeling that made you think that you are attracted to a particular segment of the opposite sex. The result is that you have convinced yourself of your attraction for these characteristics or physical traits. Never mind that you may have a history of being hurt by bad boys or being used as a personal ATM by sexy sirens. The meaning you have given to your thoughts have created this attraction. It was your thoughts that got you into this big mess to begin with. How you choose to interpret your thoughts will determine your feelings and ultimately the outcome of your life. Extraordinary size 14. Ask yourself, what are the distorted filters through which I view myself and the world? Again, extraordinary size number 14. You are asking yourself, what are the distorted filters through which I view myself and the world? What are my limiting perceptions? What are my limiting perceptions? Where did the perceptions originate? Again, where did the perceptions originate? What triggered the perception and what message is it trying to get across? What triggered the perception and what message is it trying to get across? Is the perception based on reality? Is the perception based on reality? How can I change my perception to a positive one? How can I change my perception to a positive one? Replace the limiting perception with an empowering one based on truth. For example, if you harbor a perception that you are stupid, replace it with, I know more than I think I do, or I'm smarter than I give myself credit for. Now that you know what you want to change your perception to, apply the reframing technique that you learned in extraordinary size number 13. And just to make that easier, let's just go back to extraordinary size number 13. So you don't have to find it for a timestamp. Extraordinary size 13 was taking a negative experience that you had and reframing it. Since your mind thinks in pictures rather than just using words, why not make it easier on your brain? In your mind, vividly recreate in pictures the moment right before the event occurred. Now shake off that image and create an image of how you wish the event would have occurred. Increase the emotional intensity. Vividly recreate the ideal situation and envision your own success of the situation. See yourself as full of pride and excitement over this positive outcome. The trick is to reframe the experience into an empowering one. Add more emotional intensity than the original negative event and make it turn out just the way you would have wanted it to occur. Essentially, you have tricked your brain into thinking that your newly reframed event was what really occurred. So you're creating a new neural pathway. And extraordinary size number 15. I have a challenge for you. For 1 week, make a total commitment to retrain your mind to make empowering perceptions and beliefs. For 7 straight days and nights, you must not allow yourself to dwell on any kind of negative belief. The operative word is dwell. As negative thoughts and ideas will surely pop into your mind, immediately tune them out and think of something else, or better yet, reframe it into something positive. If you catch yourself dwelling on negative perceptions or beliefs, you must start all over again. No cheating. One last thing. Don't tell anyone that you are accepting this challenge until after you have successfully completed the 7 days and you feel ready to share it with people that you think could benefit from it. This is an extremely challenging task. Don't get discouraged if you need to start over a few times. The sense of accomplishment you'll experience will be exhilarating, and it will create major breakthroughs in your psyche. So I'm going to point something out here. So she says, don't tell anyone that you are accepting this challenge until after you have successfully completed the 7 days and you feel ready to share it with people that you think could benefit from it. So this is really important because so often we want to share with others that don't have the capacity to hold or make the necessary changes. And so we often overshare, and then we get ridiculed or we get kind of put back in our place. So this is about what Jacqueline said earlier in the chapter about be careful about who you surround yourself with. You want to only share this with others that are wanting to uplift and uplevel themselves, and that will also want to uplift and uplevel and allow you to uplevel yourself. So just expounding on that. Extraordinary size number 16. I read in Suzanne Willis Zoglio's book, Create a Life That Tickles Your Soul, that we all experience mind chatter, and it's been estimated that the mind chatters at 200 words per minute. When you are experiencing an overload of mind chatter, try the following. So again, this is extraordinary size number 16. When you are experiencing an overload of mind chatter, try the following. Quiet the mind. Meditate on a rose or a candle or by a body of water. Focus on whatever inspires you. Focus on your breath. Clear the mind of all thoughts. Surrender to the moment. This will invite inner peace. Pray. When you communicate with God, the universe, your creator, it is a form of ritual that transcends the pollution of thick energy into higher realms. With your creator, all is possible, and there are no limitations. There is no scarcity, just infinite possibilities. Make it a ritual to speak to your creator with reverence for the infinite possibilities he or she can manifest in your life. Practice Tai Chi or yoga to help you focus on the moment and the movement of your body and soul. This will teach you the art of centering your mind, body, and spirit. Again, extraordinary size number 16, quiet the mind. Meditate on a rose or candle or by a body of water. Focus on whatever inspires you. Focus on your breath. Clear the mind of all thoughts. Surrender to the moment. This will invite inner peace. Pray. When you communicate with God, the universe, or your creator, it is a form of ritual that transcends the pollution of thick energy into higher realms. With your creator, all is possible, And there are no limitations. There is no scarcity, just infinite possibilities. Make it a ritual to speak to your Creator with reverence for the infinite possibilities he or she can manifest in your life. Practice Tai Chi and/or yoga to help you focus on the moment and the movement of your body and your soul. This will teach you the art of centering your mind, body, and spirit. Extraordinary tidbit. For years, I prayed, researched, and asked myself, and just about anyone who could offer constructive feedback, how to discover a meaningful purpose. But for years, it eluded me. I grew increasingly more frustrated, disappointed, and depressed. I couldn't understand why I couldn't get the answers I so longed for, until it finally dawned on me that I was blocking and counteracting my efforts with my negative perceptions. These escalated to a limiting belief. I was blocking the answer simply by repeatedly saying, "It's no use, I'll never get an answer," or "I'll never find my purpose in life." The worst culprit was my repeatedly telling myself and others, "I just don't know what I want to do with my life." I stopped saying and believing those limiting statements and counteracted them with positive affirmations and perceptions, along with the emotional certainty that I had all the answers within me. I became open to receiving insights, and I was able to uncover my life purpose. That is the end of chapter 5. And yes, she did. Jacqueline Ortiz did uncover her life purpose. She was the self-love diva. She truly was. You look at these pages, read through these pages of this beautiful book, and you will uncover the wisdom that was Jacqueline Ortiz, that was the self-love diva. She truly had a gift of raising us, inspiring us, motivating us, helping us to see how we could be better, how we could become extraordinary, how you could be extraordinarily you. That is the gift, the legacy that she left us with. So, are you up for the challenge? What if it wasn't a challenge? What if it was actually a journey? And our angel Jacqueline Ortiz, she's with us in spirit. And I'm the other half of the J&J Power Duo. We're here with you together. Jacqueline in spirit, Jacqueline Ortiz in spirit, and me, Jacqueline Bambenek, here in the present, your transformational life coach, here to instill these amazing words, these extraordinary sizes, because you are here to up-level your life into one of meaning, of purpose, even if that purpose is the embodiment of the fullest expression of love that you get to be. That's the greatest purpose that any one of us could be called into, and that's what's within the pages of this book. So you can get this on Amazon. Please feel free to purchase a copy or follow along with me as I read chapter by chapter. And I've committed to doing the extraordinary sizes that are in these pages. And I vowed that I will not read the next chapter until I've done the next. I've done all the extraordinary sizes. So you won't find me reading chapter 6 for at least another week, because I get to do this work along with you, so that we are all up leveling as we move through each one of these chapters. And we're taking time and space. Space is what our atoms, our molecules are made of, our cells are made of. The universe is made of more than 99.9% space, as is the reflection of your body, of the cells that make up your body and everything around you. So how can we expand into that space by activating what's extraordinary within it? I'm Jacqueline Bambenek with Vibrational Energy Solutions. And I am calling for you to say yes to the legacy that Jacqueline Ortiz has left us with, that we each step into the extraordinary space that we get to be, that is extraordinary you. Bye for now, with so much love from my heart to yours. May our hearts be our North Star, guiding us forward. And may it always direct us to our true north. Living from that alignment. Be well. And may your well-being be your focus for your priority in this coming week as you step into each one of these extraordinary sizes with me. Bye for now.